Hello and welcome everyone to the weekly Pokemon. I'm Kate Pokemon, and today we're going to be talking about a shiny. I'm not actually. That's a bit I'm doing, but seriously, I've been playing Pokemon this week, and it's great. In reality, though, hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse, where the worlds of nerd meet. A show that is officially not made for children. Matt, YouTube put a gun to my head and made me make that choice. I didn't want to.
Every time we upload, you got to make that choice. Like, is this children? Well, you know, we do comic books, but then we also talk about dicks and buttholes.
For real, and island sex.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to the island sex, don't you worry. Man, YouTube, has YouTube ever introduced a feature in the last little bit, and that feature actually been good and helpful, or has it all just been more shit on top of shit?
It's been shit on top of shit. The only reason I could see this is because, like, whenever you get that little thing that says you have to say that this video is for children, it makes you use that new shitty upload that they have. And that's the only reason it's there for you to use that new upload. No one fucking uses it because it's so shitty.
Really, Matt? I thought they put it in place to protect the children from the ads and from the Nazi channels. Oh, no, wait, we're not going to do anything about those. We're actually going to keep those around. But, you know, this way we get to pat ourselves on the back and make ourselves feel like we did something important.
Chat is saying I'm muted, but I'm not.
That's weird. Oh, you're moving the thing? Well, again, can you hear him or not? Because we're getting gold here, people. We're getting brilliant, brilliant gold.
Why am I muted? I'm not muted, though.
The
thing is moving.
He's got the sound up in front of him. That's the damnedest. Are you just really quiet? I don't know.
No, I'm not. Definitely not quiet.
Hold on. Again,
let
we got at least
let me re-add. Let me re-add it. Let me re-add it. Fucking
okay.
thing.
If it was just one person, I'd be like, yeah, the show must go on. But it's at least a few people who are saying it now. People I trust, like Jaden and Young Wobbles and Tevya and all the Warriors. Jersey Luck is here. Everyone else joining us in the chat.
Can people hear me now?
I sure hope so.
You need to tell me if you can hear me. I don't know why. I was just using it like 40 minutes before.
He was. Like, you can tell, Matt was streaming before this, so you know it should be working.
Oh, and now that I'm talking, no one's talking in the chat.
Of course. Matt can just mime it out.
Oh my god, what the hell is going on here?
Here, Vogue. You'll be fine without sound. Just be a one-sided conversation.
Right. It's in. Am I gonna have to use my fucking headphone?
Look, you see, this is all part of a brand new thing we're trying on the comic multiverse now. Lip reading. We're going to try and teach you lip reading through Matt.
Can people hear me now?
I sure hope so.
Yes, I'm getting print.
Oh, that's a good one, George. You can't hear him laughing, but he's laughing at that. That's a good one.
Can people hear me?
The muted multiverse. That's good.
You need to tell me if I'm... Tell me.
Where's Marvel Knight when we need one?
Still muted. Okay, I'm just going to end the stream and then I'll start it back up again. God damn it.
Okay, we'll be right back, everyone. We're going to try and fix this. We will be right back.
Alrighty. Can people hear me now?
I sure hope so.
Okay, so
please say yes.
Yes, okay. Fucking fucking thing, I tell ya. It was the exact same settings as it was before. I just had to like click off and click on again. God damn.
That's weird.
I'm gonna leave this.
But people can hear us now. Wonderful. You can do. I'm glad you are going to leave this in, Matt, because I wasn't going to do that opening bit all over again. I'm one take Joel for a reason. I got exactly one take in me.
The best thing, because I have a redundant audio recording thing, I'll still get my reactions to all that stuff you did because I've got my other thing recording. So, and that's definitely recording.
As it should be. And yes, we were referring to YouTube before our own technical problems crapped the bed. YouTube bad, having to make you pick a binary choice of whether or not all your videos and all your content is for children or not is a very stupid idea. And I'm already starting to see the results of it on my channel. What about you?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I've noticed a little bit of a dip, not a lot, but like, yeah, it's just so stupid. It's so fucking stupid.
On my personal channel, I've noticed I'm losing about 300 to 500 a video. Now, some of those, Punisher never does that good. The Batman's Grave is kind of an out there Batman book, so I can understand those not doing good. But by and large, it's a lot lower than it normally is. So, hey, if you're watching us right now in the chat, and if you're a patron, thank you so much, because we're going to be depending on you even harder now while YouTube works out its shit. And for experiment, too, I'm like, okay, well, what if I do it the other way? What if I try and say, okay, this video is for kids? You get a little bit more views, but because they don't run personalized ads, because, again, apparently that's what they're scared about. We got to protect the children from personalized ads. You get less money overall. So the idea is, do you want more views on a video, or do you want to actually make a living wage on that video but have less views? And also, doesn't matter what you pick, because the YouTube AI can just, flip a switch whenever it wants. So fuck you, basically.
Yeah, it can decide whether you're viable or not, like, just whenever. But yeah, it's like they'll do that. They'll like fucking harm all us people, but like all those like very obvious like sexual predator channels will just stay up and be monetized and be allowed to be in like featured sections and shit and all that.
Oh yeah. They're fine, because YouTube, again, just like the rest of the world, we don't care about the little guy. We only care about the big guy at the top, and we hope their success will trickle down to the rest of you.
Yeah.
It's I've said it before, where it's like, YouTube is missing out on the next great cow, because they're making it so impossible now for people to kind of like slug it out like you and I did when we started YouTube. Now, you basically need to be a smash hit right out of the gate, like that Girlfriend Reviews channel or Binging with Babish, or you're just not going to make it.
Yeah, you need that, or you either need that, or you need to like basically debase yourself, like have no dignity.
Yes.
No
Also
dignity
that.
whatsoever.
That's real big. That's real big on this internet. And speaking of having no dignity, boy, we've really been enjoying the things we like this week, don't we? Be it Pokemon or Star Wars, it's been a big week for us, hasn't it?
Yeah, Pokemon, Star Wars, video games in general. It's been as other people have pointed out, for the first time in like maybe 30 years, like Star Wars like has been kind of basically unanimously liked, like for a week.
It's a nice feeling, isn't it? People are so happy to enjoy it. And again, where it's like, well, what's the big difference between these? Where it's like, okay, so not near as many women or dark people around these properties. Which I'm like, well, the Mandalorian. I'm like, well, he wears a helmet, so you can't tell. But...
and he's technically played by a dark person. He's played by Pedro Pascal. He's quite a tan man.
Tan man, as they say. That's a whole other Star Wars expanded universe story, right? Boba Fett and the Tan Man.
Yeah.
I think I remember that one. That was a good story. But yeah, we'll be talking about a lot of Star Wars at the end there. But I haven't had a chance to play the new game, Matt. I know you were just streaming it on this very channel. How is it? I hear Deborah Wilson is really good in it.
Yeah, she's really good. Her model doesn't like do her any favors though, because they've made her have huge monster eyes. Like it really accentuates her eyes a lot. Right. Just because of the animation and stuff isn't really perfect. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the game. I really like it. Which is really weird to say about an EA like published game.
I know, right? But it actually looks like they put time and work in this. Is the combat as soulsy as it looks?
Oh, yeah. Oh, fucking yeah. Like, people who were in the stream last time, like, just before, will attest to that with me fighting a giant fucking bat multiple times because I kept fucking dying.
I do keep hearing those things. I keep hearing, like, fuck that space frog and fuck that space bat.
That space frog, I don't know why everyone had so much trouble with it. I fucking made that guy my bitch, like, first up.
I'll tell you all about it when I get a chance. There I have been deep deep into Pokemon, and man, it's like they made the game for people just like me who have come back after 2 decades of not playing it because everything is like super streamlined and easy to pick up now than ever before.
Oh, nice. That's good to hear. I've been hearing like yeah, it's really great, but then you also get those people that's like, no, fuck this. It doesn't have this particular Pokemon in it, so this game is terrible now.
Although, of course, because this is a Pokemon game, people cracked the code almost instantly. And apparently you can get like a bunch of other starters and a bunch of other rares from all the other games. You just can't get them yet because that's going to be part of the Pokemon Home rollout later next year.
Oh, okay then.
Because they got a whole new app they want to push now where you can get your game and your Pokemon Go on your phone and everything else all in one place.
Yep.
So there's definitely more on the horizon. So that's cool. I'm definitely enjoying it. The music I'm really enjoying. I forgot how good the music can be in Pokemon games.
It's really nice music. It's calming music. And then really fun action music when you're in the battles.
Oh, yeah. The best part is that because this is in, like, Great Britain now, this is, like, the theming for it, you don't fight in regular Pokemon gyms, you fight in giant soccer stadiums, and I swear during the bigger action moments, you can hear frickin' vuvuzelas there in the background. And I'm like, I like it a lot, I'm down for this, but, yeah, we're a comic book podcast, everyone. I know that's hard to remember sometimes. And we actually have a nice little smattering of news this week.
We do.
Yeah, I think you're all going to enjoy this. Some good stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
First and foremost here, we have several new miniseries coming from Marvel, and some pretty interesting ones by some pretty interesting teams. First up, we got Nebula, because everything that is Guardians of the Galaxy prints money right now, and if Yondu can have a mini, which I have not read yet, but I've heard good things about, why can't Nebula?
Exactly, yeah. And is this the first time she's gotten an ongoing? I don't think it is it?
I want to say yes, actually.
I want to say there was like one that like there was. Thanks Party Pug for the subscription there. I want to say there was a, it might have been a one shot or something, but I remember there was something
maybe
like around the time the first Guardians came out where they kind of made it more in line with the movie.
Right, all right, that makes sense. Oh, also, Party Pug is Comics Misexplained. Okay, cool, yeah, we
nice.
know you.
Yes, we know you.
But yeah, so I'm down for that. I can say I have not heard of the writer of this one. Maybe the chat knows their work. Vita Ayala, I think is how you pronounce that.
I want to say I saw something they wrote recently. I just can't remember what.
Vita means life.
I'm gonna say something. I saw something they wrote recently. What was it? The name sounds so familiar to me.
Well, it sounded familiar to me because obviously I think Vita means life, and when I think life, I think the PS Vita. Remember that, everyone? Remember that short-lived handheld console, the PS Vita? That was a fun one. But, yeah, Nebula should be fun. One of the weirder ones is Gwen Stacy is going to be getting a miniseries, not Spider-Gwen. Not any of the multiversal Gwen Stacys, like main Universe 616 Gwen Stacy is getting a miniseries from Christos Gage, of all people. So they're not putting a nothing writer on this. They're putting an actually really, really talented, time-tested writer on the project.
Yeah, this would be pretty interesting, considering all the stuff that's like obviously going on in Amazing Spider-Man with Kindred and going after Peter's loved ones and everything.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you think that this exists to link up in some way with what's going on with Kindred? Because that's one of the popular theories, that Kindred is actually Gwen back from the dead.
Possibly. I mean, I would say no if they put like a new writer or a small writer on it, but they put Christos Gage on it. And he's a pretty big writer, especially in the Spider-Man universe. So maybe, possibly.
This also seems like a pretty good opportunity, too, because this is everything in Gwen's life, apparently, before she meets Peter, which in my mind, I'm like, really? Did she have adventures before she met Peter? Okay.
Again, like, hearing that, it sounds like, oh, yeah, we're going to get the reveal of Kindred, and then we're going to go back, and this miniseries is going to, like, sort of explain those, like, roots of Kindred in Gwen Stacy, if it turns out to be Gwen.
or something like that. I'm like, is this going to be here so we can retcon a lot of Spider-Man history? Because it's like, I don't see why you would take a character like Gwen Stacy if you weren't going to like turn it into a bit of a retcon machine.
Yeah.
Which, again, a lot of the chat is saying, I hope they retcon Sin's Past. I hope they retcon Clone Conspiracy and a bunch of other stuff. They potentially could. And perhaps the most non-surprising of the bunch, just in time for the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show, we're getting a Falcon and Winter Soldier miniseries from the writer of Bone Kickers, which I know is a popular book series that they turned into a TV show. It's about fossils and shit.
Never heard of it.
I only know it because, what is it? It's like one of those weird, like, shows that I guess played on British television. I know there's like a whole subsect of like YouTubers who make videos who like to talk about it.
Okay, yeah, I've never once heard about it.
That's the only time I've heard of it, and I literally watched like 5 minutes of one of those videos, and when they got to the point where it's like, Bone Kickers is about fossils, and I'm like, all right. I ain't got no time for no fossils today. But yeah, should be cool. It's really just kind of nice to get Sam Wilson back in a book because he hasn't been in anything like forever.
Yeah, like what happened to him? He just like kind of disappeared. Like he was headlining a Captain America book and then just like disappeared.
Well, his Falcon miniseries flopped, and then he just went away.
Which is really strange. I'm surprised that it flopped.
It is, where it's like, hey, you were selling pretty well as Captain America and people were pretty interested. Then we spun you off as Falcon again, and it's like, no, I guess comic readers only care about Sam when he's Captain America. I guess it was hard to not make it seem like a demotion is the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Much like when X-23 went back to being X-23 and was not the all-new Wolverine anymore. It's like, well, now you're walking backwards in a story. You can't walk backwards in a story. And yet, comics do it all the time. But, here's hoping they can make some magic happen here. I really liked that Winter Soldier miniseries from Kyle Higgins that was not that long ago. I wonder if we'll see any crossover with that, because Winter Soldier has been showing up everywhere. He's been in Invaders. He's been in the Captain America book. You can't get away from Winter Soldier.
No, you can't. And I'm sure this book will be very similar to, I imagine, what we'll be getting in that TV show, like around the same time. So yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Tevi asking any opinion on DC solicits for the Superman villains one shot. We're getting to the DC stuff next, but I'll just let Matt give his feelings on this one, because he's actually reading current Superman and I'm not.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I bet if I was reading, I would also not.
I'll talk about that one when we get to talk about what we read this week, because I really want to go on a rant about that.
Please do. I have a rant saved up too. We'll do those, and then we'll close it off with something nice by talking about Mandalorians is how we'll do it. So again, if you're in one of those places that didn't get Mandalorians, or, if you've decided to watch it legally, again, save this one for later and you can come back to it. Another thing, because solicitations were out this week for February, so we got a lot of good news across the board, and a little bit of writer shakeup over at Marvel. Jim Zub, friend of the show, very nice man, always is hosting me over on his blog for when I talk about his comics. He is actually going to be taking the realms of Conan in February, which makes a lot of sense because he's writing that Conan, Moon Knight, Edgar Rice Burroughs crossover. So yeah,
he's also a huge Dungeons and Dragons fan, so
yeah,
kind of hand in hand there.
Why it makes sense. Yeah, he said before why he was leaving Iron Man, and he said, it was because I got a dream project and I couldn't keep writing it with Dan Slott. I guess this is the dream project.
Yeah, we all sort of assumed it was that like crossover with Moon Knight and the Edgar Rice Burroughs characters and all those guys. But yeah, I guess this is the actual like meat of that.
Yeah, which, I mean, hey, good for him, man, living his dream there. Because I wanted to read his new, like, Serpent crossover, so I actually went back and read a little Savage Sword of Conan, which Zub was already writing, and a little of the Aaron Conan. Yeah, they're really good.
Oh, yeah, they're excellent.
Yeah, they're like a type of adventure comic that you don't see anymore, and that Conan is perfectly suited for, and I'm glad it's finding an audience amongst all these superheroes and all this capes and all this spandex, people still want to read about a barbarian who chops people up with a sword.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I read like the first arc of the Aaron book where he killed quote unquote Conan, and yeah, it was really cool, really fantastic, like proper Conan stuff.
I like Aaron pulls out the same trick in that Conan book that he did in Thor, where it's like, all right, let's look at Conan at 3 different periods in his life.
Yeah, but it works. It works.
It really does, especially with Conan, who has such a long history anyway. And it's like, yeah, he eventually becomes King Conan. We know this.
Yeah, he's basically Thor at the moment.
Yeah, he basically is, and that's fine by me. That totally works. So good on you, Jim. And goddamn, we gotta get Jim Zub on the show at some point. He's a busy man. I tried to get him a couple weeks ago, but he was getting ready for the Paris Comic-Con. So it's like, oh yeah, I mean, going to Paris. That takes a little bit more precedent than talking to me. I understand. I get it. If I had a trip to Paris, I wouldn't talk to me either. But yeah, well, mark my words, when Zub and my schedule align, we will definitely try and get him on this show at some point to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Because another cool thing about Zub is I actually know that he keeps up with comic book YouTube and the comic book review scene quite a lot, which is more than most of his contemporaries, and I think that's very cool.
Yeah, it is. It's good to know where your critics are.
Absolutely, and it's nice to know. It makes me a better critic, too, because I'm like, oh, Jim Zub might actually be watching this. He's a professional writer, and he's watching this dumb shit I pull out of my ass. I better really up my game on this one. I better try and sound all schmatty and shit for this. But yeah, that's some good Conan news. Moving along from there, we got an interesting story that I was not expecting, but the Russo brothers, who of course everyone loves from Community and the Captain America movies and those last Avengers movies, well, they're apparently producing a documentary series that will be coming out in the not-so-distant future that will be focusing on the ever-loving feud between DC fans and Marvel fans. And, the internet, took this the way the internet always takes things, with great humor and aplomb, and, no one was mad at anyone, and it was we all danced around the maypole, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, oh yeah. I really enjoyed seeing all those people saying it's going to be completely biased towards Marvel. And of course, all those people had the, that hashtag that's been getting a lot of things today, which I'm not going to say on the show.
That hashtag that rhymes with Schmees the Schmeider Schmutt. That's what we're going to call it from now on. That's a mouthful, but yeah, I mean, I would definitely be interested in a documentary like this, but, I think I'm an adult in this, sphere that we live in, and I think I can handle this, and I think some people have just kind of tattled on themselves that they can't.
Yes, yeah, and what really interests me about this is if they will show that, all that horrible shit that, like I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen, and I'm sure most of the chat has seen, that come from both sides.
If handled right, I think this could be a really cool documentary about being like, to use a wrestling allegory, the Monday Night Wars or the Cola Wars, Pepsi and Coke always battle against each other, just like Marvel and DC always battle against each other. And, sometimes, one's up and sometimes one is down, and, they have their fans and some people take it too seriously. But at the end of the day, we all love soda just like we all love comics, and shouldn't that be what's important?
Yeah.
And I feel the Russo brothers are smart enough and sensitive enough and all this other stuff that if they were going to make a series like that, that's what they would do.
No, Joel, they're completely biased, completely.
Right. Well, hey, this is one of the few times where someone in their weird conspiracy tinfoil hat talk can say, where's your check from Disney? And they'll be like, no, we already cashed our checks from Disney.
We're using the money from that to make this.
Yeah, we're using. What did you think? No, we're not cashing any checks from Disney now. We cashed them before.
Also, it's on like some weird app I've never fucking even heard of. Like,
I didn't get that far.
Queeby or something. Never fucking heard of it.
Steve Queeby, the guy who used to have the record for the best Donkey Kong game ever, that guy.
yeah, his app.
he started an app. Oh, I'll watch Queeby. But no, I really like comic book documentaries, and we don't get near as much of them, which is weird because comic book movies dominate, the cinema as it stands now. And there's been some really good ones in the last couple years. There was that one on Bill Finger, trying
really good.
That was a really good one. Him fighting to, try and get recognized for the work that he did. Post-mortem, obviously. He wasn't doing it. A documentary crew was doing it, and he was long dead. What is it? That PBS one, Superheroes, The Never-Ending Battle. Even Walking Dead guy. What was his name? Kirkman.
Robert Kirkman.
Yeah, Kirkman did an amazing 6-part series, comic book untold stories or something like that. Took a different aspect of comic book history and really focused on it. That was really good.
Yeah, there's a good DC one about the villains as well. I think it's called DC Villains or something.
Yes, I remember that. That was a feature on the DVDs for one of the animated movies back when they did those.
Yeah.
Remember DVDs when they had cool extra features?
Just remember DVDs?
I know. I used to love DVDs. I had so many. And of course, my hetero man crush, Liev Schreiber, hosted the PBS documentary, which was yet another reason to love it. And what a good sport Schreiber was. Hey, I was the Sabretooth in that movie everyone hated, but I love comics so much I will come back and do this. And that he wasn't afraid to rip on himself, too, being like, I was part of comic book movie history, too. They showed his version of Sabretooth. Aw. Aw. Man, I would have loved to have seen him come back for, the Old Man Logan version of Sabretooth.
I thought there was, rumors that he was, or they were going to put, a scene in where there was an older Sabretooth, and it was going to be Liev Schreiber.
There was a cut scene where one of the kids who takes Old Man Logan in is playing with a Wolverine doll and a Sabretooth doll.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, and he asked him, it's what was Sabretooth like in real life? And, Logan gives, a funny answer.
Yeah.
Tevi keeps asking, too, any opinion on Joker making $1 billion? Good for them. I haven't seen the movie yet. I had a chance to. I will see it eventually so I can have an opinion. I mean, I guess that's really good considering that they probably didn't spend as much as they spent on Avengers and everything, and they still made $1 billion. It's not surprising. People are like, oh, are you surprised it made this much money? No.
No, they put the Joker name on a movie that's not the Joker, so of course it's going to make $1 billion.
He's the most recognizable villain of the most recognizable hero in all the world. It's kind of a no-brainer, honestly.
Yeah.
I know everyone kind of seems to be like, no, doesn't Todd Phillips deserve more credit? Doesn't he deserve more accolades? No, he made $1 billion. That's basically all you can ask for, and most of the reviews were good. What, does he want a medal now, too?
Yeah. Does he want to be pardoned by the president for something?
Which apparently Trump had a screening of Joker at the White House for him and his family, which I'm like, of course he did. Of fucking course he did. Why wouldn't he? This is the world we live in. Also, goddamn, that's just such a fucking weird story, because, Trump doesn't seem like the guy who does anything with his family at all.
No.
So if he's just like, okay, Melania, okay, other Donald, okay, other kid and daughter I don't talk about all that often, let's all meet in the family room in the West Wing, and let us watch the Joker Man movie. I like this Joker Man movie. Hey, that guy he killed on the train looks a little like you, Don Jr. You notice that?
Hey, this Thomas Wayne, I like this guy. He's a scumbag. Yeah. I can relate to him.
You beat me to it. My favorite character is this version of Thomas Wayne. Only good things will happen with this character. I can feel it. Crusader Con, he called his Fox and friends. Yeah, the only friends he has, badum tish. No, JT Wizzy, I don't mean the daughter he wants to have sex with. I mean the other daughter he doesn't talk about, Tiffany.
He probably wants to have sex with that daughter as well, but...
that one was smart enough to leave, but yeah. Enough about politics. We're talking about the comic books. But yeah, Joker, I'll talk about it at some point. Again, I don't feel like I had to rush to see it. I feel like the discourse around the movie, like I said, really died down after a week.
It did. It absolutely did. No one was talking about it. They were talking about it that first week. Oh, the subway scene. Oh, this scene. But then after that, nothing.
this is the first I've really heard it kicking up again, where it's like it made $1 billion. Isn't it amazing? It made $1 billion. Not really. Lots of comic book movies make $1 billion now. I mean,
you also
again,
got to remember it didn't have much competition. Oh, Charlie's Angels. Ooh, Maleficent.
I mean, again, I guess it is impressive that this movie, which again probably didn't cost as much as an Avengers or anything else to make, still went on to do that. But like I said, not impressive because most recognizable villain. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah. I can't talk because I haven't seen it. All right, what else did we have going on here? Tom Taylor has already announced a sequel, spin-off, whatever you want to call it, to DCeased.
Yeah, of course. I said in my review, like, we're gonna get like another one in like the next 6 months, and I was completely right. And it's even worse because like we had that last issue, like 2 weeks ago? It was about
give
2
or
weeks
take,
ago.
yeah.
This week the hardback trade paperback came out, so like they were rushing this out.
Oh, yeah, and also, too, on top of that, we saw, in the back of all the comics this week. It's like, hey, pick up your hard copy of DC. So they're really pushing this as a brand new brand.
Yeah, which, it would have been really good if they had a brand to put it under. But I can't think of one that's being underused and used only as a Batman brand. I can't think of one, though.
Maybe like a dark label,
yeah.
Or, like a Twilight label of some kind, a noir label. No, that's too close to Spider-Man noir. Oh, if only we had something, Matt. If only.
Yeah, I really wish they did put it under Black Label, because then I wouldn't get stupid comments asking how this could possibly be happening in the main DC universe.
Yeah, it isn't. But yeah, DCeased Unkillables, if you can't tell from the nice images that Matt has put up on the screen right now. This is going to basically deal with the villains and a lot of the more anti-heroic characters who we didn't see at the end of original DCeased and who assumedly didn't get off the planet.
Yeah, or assumedly left on the planet with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I guess so. And obviously, we got Deathstroke and a Bane that looks way better than the Bane that's in Batman right now. Deadshot, Lady Shiva, Captain Cold, Red Hood, who, man, it's so funny. All the other Bat kids and everyone else got to leave and knew about Bruce dying and everything else. Not Red Hood, though. No one bothered calling him.
Well, only Damian got to leave. No one else actually got to leave because they all got fucking infected.
Yeah, and no one even bothered to reach out to Jason. I imagine Jason like kicking a trash can. I'm a member of this family, damn it. Why does no one ever call me? And Cassandra Cain, sidles up to him and wants to say something, but she doesn't say anything.
Yeah. She's now the Batgirl, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's going back to her old Batgirl costume, which, again, arguably looks a little better than her orphan suit. I'm glad this suit actually gets to live again, even if it's only in this universe.
Yeah.
I'm down for this. And so that's DCeased Unkillable. It's Tom Taylor. I love that he has his own weird little corner of the DC universe to play around with now, and that they trust him to do that. And he's going to be getting more play too, because his Suicide Squad book comes out soon.
It does, yeah. I wonder how they'll differentiate this from his Suicide Squad book.
Easy, a bunch of new characters, that's how.
Yeah, but those new characters only come in that first episode. And
oh, really?
Well, they're all gonna fucking die. They're all gonna fucking die. They're all fucking, you can't kill off like the mainstay characters like Deathstroke and all the Captain Cold, all those people. But like, you can kill off a new character you've just created because no one gives a fuck about them.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see then. Take bets in your own personal death pool as to who's gonna die first. But yeah, so good for Tom Taylor. I'm excited for that one. That's gonna be a good read, even if it's coming a lot sooner than I thought. And DCeased had the added, little extra layer that it came out during Halloween.
Yeah, this is the one thing I'm kind of getting worried about with DCeased. It's like, okay, it was cool as like that one shot. Now, don't oversaturate it. It's like, you're kind of going there. You're rushing into a sequel sort of story, so...
I mean, what is it? Marvel Zombies, as much as people liked those first couple ones, they ran that into the ground by just doing it too much.
Yeah.
It's like, don't take a thing I like and make me not like it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of sequels, Matt,
And speaking of things that has run into the fucking ground.
ran into the fucking, holy shit, we are the masters of segues this week. DC announces Leviathan sequel, Leviathan Dawn, the sequel to the sure soon-to-be classic considered Leviathan event Leviathan.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about this. This is like, fuck. No one gives a shit about this fucking character.
We joked about this, Matt. This was a joke we did. Yeah. When we're like, man, nothing has happened in Event Leviathan so far. This is really lame. What do you think they're going to do for that final issue to cram it all in? Hey, they're just going to do nothing and ask you to pick up the sequel. That's literally what happened. The final issue, nothing happened, and now they want you to read a sequel.
Yeah, now it's like, for the full story, read this, but those issues will just be reiterating the actual Event Leviathan story, which was, again, reiterating stuff we learned in Action Comics.
That last issue of Leviathan, I'm actually rendering it now. It's going to be up tomorrow at 8 a.m., but holy crap, I cannot remember the last time... It is, and not even like bad in an interesting way, like Heroes in Crisis or Tom King's Batman, where it's like, wow, this is so bad, I want to unpack this all and really get to the root of where this went wrong. This is just violently boring. This is Bendis just not giving a fuck.
No. Again, this feels like, okay, well, I don't need to tell anything here because I'll have a fucking new ongoing with this Leviathan character, so I'll just chug along. And he's Mark Shaw. Oh, people already guessed that months ago. Oh well.
Also, why should people care about Mark Shaw coming back when the Manhunters haven't been relevant?
Well, no one gives a fuck about the Manhunters to begin with. Who cares?
You know who gives a fuck? You know who gives a fuck about the Manhunters? Mark Andreyko, because he created Kate Spencer, and that's the only one he gives a crap about, and that's the only one
she's like shit all over in this whole series.
That's what really got to me, too, where it's like, oh, yeah, we're making the Manhunters big and important again, on Earth. And, Kate Spencer was actually the key to everything. Then why did you beat her up in the first couple pages and she didn't get to do anything?
Yeah, she just stood around and said, my staff is important. My staff is important. We're going to do something about stuff? No.
Well, I tell you what, kid, you got any questions, you just got to go read the sequel. All will be answered there.
And I like that end of that book. Get into it more, but it's like a threatening page. It's like, you'll read the sequel. You'll have to, because it's in Action Comics.
I love that. It's Lois being like, and what will happen next for Leviathan and their plan. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I am just done. Here's my hand out. I am so outie. And in fact, now that I'm officially done reading Event Leviathan, I'm done reading everything Bendis is writing at DC right now. I might pick up his Batman later because people are saying that's genuinely good when it's done, but still, I am not reading anything Bendis related. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, well, Bendis don't give a fuck. Honey, Bendis don't fuck around. He don't fuck.
No,
care.
He reached into all of our collective pockets, up all of our ass wallets, and he grabbed all of the fucks, and he is hoarding them in his underground Bendis cave, stockpiling fucks for the fuckpocalypse that is coming. And it's just like, people are banging on the door, Bendis, please give us a fuck, I just need one fuck. And he's like, no, sorry, I got no fucks to give.
I gotta write about
As he sits on a mountain. Yeah, really. He's like, look, I don't give a fuck, but I'll tell you everything about Rogel's. No!
Yeah, please start.
Please stop. Not until I'm done. They foretold of my coming in the scrolls. Bendis was coming, and he did arrive. None were ready when he arrived. The great DC fuck shortage of 2019.
Oh, jeez.
So that was good, everyone. That's Event Leviathan. Check it out. Coming soon.
Yeah, don't check it out.
I truly think, is this going to be another 6 issues? Did he originally pitch this as 12? And when they realized, nothing happens in the first 6 issues, we better cut this into 2.
I don't fucking know.
It's the dumbest. It really, really, really is. But hey, on happier, better news, DC actually announced a bunch of shakeups with their solicitations for February, for the new year. A bunch of writers are actually getting moved around, and some people are getting brand new books. First and foremost, and I guess this really should have made more sense, James Tynion is slowly but surely coming off Justice League Dark because, well, he needs to go write Batman now. Mm-hmm. And not just Batman, but like several other Batman adjacent one-shots, like the Alfred one-shot, basically a funeral for him, sending him off. I'm glad Tynion gets to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he gets his moment to like close everything up.
Because if Tom King got to write, it would be like Batman gets drunk and pisses all over Alfred's coffin before falling into an empty grave himself and cries.
Yeah, Batman never really loved Alfred. It was just him putting on a facade because he's really Batman, and Batman is an emotionless alien.
Yes, that's where
exactly what those exact words would be in the comic.
In keeping with your will, Alfred, I will now shoot your body into the sun in a rocket like you asked me to. Remember when we talked about that one time? No, you're just making things up now, Tom King. Or it'd be like, look, I cremated his body and me and Catwoman snorted it together while having sex to gain Alfred's essence. So he'll always be with us. Nah, bro, it's deep. It's deep and interesting. You just don't get it, bro. But yeah, I'm glad he gets to do that. He's apparently writing a Valentine's Day issue, which actually looks pretty interesting because it's a Nightwing-centric book. So Tynion gets to write Nightwing and seemingly put him back together.
Yeah.
So he's getting off Justice League Dark, and in his place is a writer, Ram V, who I, again, not very familiar with him at all.
No, I've never even heard of him before.
But he won me over, though, pretty hard, because it's like, okay, well, what do you have in store for your first issue? Animal Man's coming back.
Yeah, and it's like, ooh, interesting.
And I'm like, all right, sir. Before you had my interest, now you have my attention.
Yeah. I think I'll definitely pick it up when this new writer starts. I've been like kind of reading it off and on, like just not reviewing it, and it's been really cool. I like all the stuff with like the laws of chaos and order and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely going to pick up when a new writer begins.
This newest arc feels a little dragged out, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I really like the book, and I still like Tynion, but I basically feel like you can pinpoint the moment where he knew he was getting Batman, and he's like, oh crap, I gotta start thinking about Batman now.
Yeah, this is the point where he knew, like a couple of months ago when he wrote it.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, geez, no, I want to write the mystical, magical stuff, and Eclipso, and, the Justice League Dark but evil team. Oh, God, Batman is in my mind. What do I do?
Yeah. Tevye, he was writing it, but him and James Tynion were both doing Justice League Dark at the same time.
Yeah.
They were taking on and off.
Right, which is kind of what Tynion was doing with Justice League and Snyder. Mm-hmm. All right, what else do we got going on here? Now, one that made you really happy, and I'm going to let you take the reins on this one. Robert Venditti is now going to be taking over Justice League from Snyder because Snyder is wrapping up his run at the end of the Doom Justice War.
Yeah, issue 39 is Venditti's first issue, and boy, does it look interesting.
What's going on there, Matt? Tell us all about it.
I have no fucking idea. We only got covers. We only got covers for it, and the covers feature the Justice League getting the shit beaten out of them by the Eradicator, and what I'm going to assume is like a clone army or something. Maybe a new Kryptonian clone army or something.
Interesting. I like the sense of that.
The Eradicator was with General Zod the last time we saw him in fact Howard Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, written by Robert Venditti.
That's right.
He was doing shit and making like new Krypton stuff. So like these clones, like proto Kryptonians or something, like cloned or something. Yeah,
potentially. Zod seems to be back to being a villain super hard, too, because him and, Ra's al Ghul are going to be bad guys for the next arc of Batman Superman from Williamson.
Oh, really? Because he's not a bad guy in the most recent Superman issue.
Nope, but he's back to being a bad guy by February, though.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with General Zod as a villain.
Me too. I know Bendis was like, well, what if he was his Vegeta? What if he was like his best friend, eternal rival anime character? I'm like,
Like, we've done that before. Do something new.
Yeah, do
I'll
something
reveal
fun
his
and-
identity.
Maybe not that new. Also, not new at all.
No.
You know, Venditti is one of those writers that I keep hearing amazing things about him, but he always just so happened to be writing books that I wasn't reading, like Green Lantern, which again, I heard he did great. Like, what is it? What else did he do? Oh, like Hawkman currently.
He's currently writing Hawkman, which I fell off, but I've been reading through, and I want to do a big video on it because it's just so fucking awesome that he's managed to take this character that's like had this huge fucked up history and just make it all make sense.
The fact, too, that book has made it to like 21 issues because it's still going in
Yeah.
February is a testament to how good he is, where it's like, look, I got a Hawkman book to 21 issues. Who else can say they did that?
It also probably helps that like Hawkman's tied in with like that whole infected stuff, which is what they're doing in the book at the moment. He's becoming the infected and whatnot.
Interesting. Okay, see that actually sounds like something I'd be interested in. Again, I feel like I need a long plane ride or a vacation to catch up on all of Hawkman because that sounds good.
It's really good.
It's funny, I remember, like, Venditti's career, in a weird way, kind of, like, mirrors our own. I remember the year I went to New York Comic-Con, him and a bunch of industry people were, like, in the same restaurant as us, and because he was working at Valiant at the time, he hadn't even made the crossover yet to start working at DC, I don't think, but, like, the rumbling was he was coming, and he was, like, a big, like, talent steal for them from, like, you know, Valiant when they were doing good, to be like, oh, yeah, come over here to DC now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again, I remember, like, what is it, like, everyone in my party's like, oh, that's Robert Venditti. Hey, can we, like, get a, what is it, like, an autograph or something, or talk about comics? And, like, I went outside to, like, get some air and everything.
I don't talk
like,
this fucking guy.
And it's like, Joe, you didn't want to meet Robert Venditti? I'm like, well, A, I didn't know that was him at the time. B, he's not writing anything I'm reading. I can't gush about the man if I'm not reading anything of his. But yeah, for that minute, everyone just thought I was a sociopath. I just got up and left, started smoking outside. Yeah, what? What do you want from me?
Amazing Spider-Man. Yes, he's going to start writing the Walmart Superman book as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think after Tom Taylor's done, which has got to be very soon. After Tom King is done, I mean.
Right. So what you're saying is the Walmart Superman continues to be the only Superman book you need to read at the moment.
Yes.
To think about that, oh, there's good DC Comics. Where are they? Walmart.
Yeah, just go to the Walmart.
Just don't even go to your local brick and mortar store. Go to the Walmart, apparently. Not only are those original stories better, but you get collected a bunch of other classic stories as well. It's a weird business move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. But yeah, those are some cool new writer shakeups coming down the pipeline. And yeah, I guess with that, we'll talk a little about comics, and then the rest of the show will be devoted to the Mandalorians. But I know both Matt and I had a rant we wanted to get on. I kind of did mine on Leviathan already, so I yield the floor to you, Senator Matt. What's got your balls in a knot this week?
Well, two things do, like both Event Leviathan and fucking Superman issue 17. We'll talk about Leviathan and finish off that. Like, yeah, it's fucking nothing happened. Fucking nothing happened.
Not only does nothing happen, but Bendis actually shows his hand at the beginning that nothing has happened because out of the blue, he's decided to start playing with time. So when we last saw Lois, oh, my father is dying. I was transported to the Arctic. How am I going to get out of this? She's out of it by the time you open the book, and Superman comes in to talk to her. It's like, wait, wasn't Superman having a showdown with the Leviathan guy? Oh, well, I guess he got out then.
Yeah, all this stuff, like, it gave me such a fucking headache trying to, like, sort out, like, okay, so yeah, this page takes place before those last pages, but then this next page is before that. And then it goes back, and I could see what he was trying to do. He was trying to set the whole thing up as Lois is writing the story, and he's getting the like first-hand accounts from Superman and all those, like at the end when she's published her article. But it doesn't come off like that. It comes off like someone with like a cognitive disability wrote a comic.
It is so where it's like, where did your talent go, man? Did a talent vampire suck it? This is mystery. This is stuff that you used to be good at. This was the kind of stuff you like cut your teeth on. What happened to you? It's the damnedest thing. And also my camera keeps fucking up while I'm talking. It keeps starting and stopping.
It looks really funny.
Leviathan has come
to again. Yeah, Leviathan. Bendis don't want you to talk about comics that he wrote.
No, look, guys, you see, every time my face starts fucking up on it, it's not like, a mistake. It's not like a horrible internet mess up. I'm a member of Spiral, and this is the Spiral tech obscuring my face so no one knows who I am. And it's only gotten worse. But yes, what did bother you about Leviathan, Matt?
Oh, what didn't bother me?
I know.
Like, everything about this fucking issue just, it was terrible. Like, and in the issue, like, we get fucking, what's her name? Talia al Ghul wants fucking Manhunter because she's worked out, like, she's part of this, even though, like, she knew who Mark Shaw was, and
she brought him into the organization, which I love. I love they just brush that off, where it's like, oh yeah, Talia brought Mark Shaw into Leviathan in the first place. And I'm like, that would have been nice to see.
Yeah. Like, why didn't we see this? Why wasn't anyone told this to begin with?
Why was she cool recruiting a hero when Leviathan was an evil organization?
Yeah. God damn it. Yeah. So she wants the new Manhunter, and Kate Spencer's like, it's not me. And everyone's like, I don't know, it might be fucking you. And she's like, it's not me. And so the same person that Kate Spencer is, she decides to prove her innocence by attacking the heroes.
Yes.
The exact thing, I think, not even an issue ago, that they were saying, like, Leviathan's trying to turn us on each other and get us to attack one another. Mm-hmm. And that whole thing with fucking, what's his name? Red Hood. That whole thing was based around Leviathan trying to use him as a decoy and everything.
As Tevye brings up in the chat, who is Mark Shaw? Exactly, Mark Shaw was one of these several Manhunters that existed before Kate Spencer, so the comic already assumes that you have a vast knowledge of DC Comics and know what this deep cut is. Even worse is that Mark Shaw implies that he had a long, full career as the Manhunter, and yet he acts like he and Superman are meeting for the first time.
You know what's even funnier about that? Like, because there's a page where Superman talks about the Manhunters and how they were, like, the original Green Lanterns, and then they were adopted. Mm-hmm. That name was adopted by Paul Kirk, I think his name was, the first guy. So they don't even mention Mark Shaw at all. They mention the first guy. It would have been better if they're like, oh yeah, I knew a Manhunter named Mark Shaw. He was a great guy. All that. So they don't even mention him in that. So they make it sound like, he's not important at all. Like, Paul Kirk is because he was the first one. Kate Spencer is because she's the new one.
And there was others between them is the funny thing.
Yeah.
So what a weird selective history. And I'm like, does Bendis not know that all of this continuity conflicts? I'm like, well, of course he doesn't, because back in, like, Detective Comics, when he was starting this story with Superman, he had, like, and here are the members of, Argus, and here are the members of, Checkmate. And I'm like, none of those guys have been in Checkmate in years, Ben. Checkmate just became a thing when they just brought back their leader for Justice League Suicide Squad. It hasn't even been an organization, and Bendis is like, yeah, I don't know, and I don't care.
Yeah, God damn it. It's just so frustrating. And then we get, like, the revelation that, like, Mark Shaw was Sam Lane's partner in Argus or before Argus. So it's like, good telling us that, you know?
Yeah, and then they kill Sam Lane too, and I'm like, that's kind of lame that they killed him off the way they did.
Yeah, and they killed him off, and it's not some big poignant moment. Like Clark tries to have a moment where he's like, your father was a complicated man, but he was a good man, and Lois is like, shut the fuck up, I need to write my story.
Yeah, he literally dies in between issues, and we get no final moment with him, and he's just gone. And I'm like, wow, is there anything more pathetic than having a bad death and a bad event?
Oh, God.
God damn it.
It's annoying. It's so fucking annoying.
Not worth the paper it was printed on.
Nope. No, you could... Again, like Bendis's, like, that Legion of Superheroes Millennium, you could probably just skip over this and go straight to the next series, because I said in my review, I guarantee it. I fucking guarantee it. The next issue that deals with Leviathan will be recapping this whole fucking event. It'll be like sure. Lois talking to fucking someone who was there at that event and talking about, we fought Leviathan and did nothing and stood around and everything.
I will give this story credit, though, for being needlessly complex and yet also incredibly easy to find out who Leviathan was all at the same time.
Oh, I had a feeling that it probably changed a couple of times as well, like who Leviathan was, or like even Bendis probably didn't even know until like, oh, make it a manhunter.
Yeah. Oh, and as Tevye brings up too, Guardian was working for Leviathan, maybe all along.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's right.
Maybe all along, but also maybe he had his mind taken over because apparently there's no spies left in the DC universe anymore because Leviathan just took control of all of them.
Yeah, but then, again, this is me being like smart and being like someone who's actually read these comics. I'd be like, oh, well, maybe that's like one of Jim Harper's clones or something, and pretending to be Guardian because there's him himself is a fucking clone.
Which is the funniest thing, too. So it's like, wait. So, Bendis, you brought back Jim Harper, the Guardian, just to have him join Leviathan? That's the only reason you bothered bringing him back in Superman?
And play Jobber to his new OG Do Not Steal character, Red Cloud.
Oh, that's right. That did happen. He did get beaten up by Red Cloud. I forgot.
Yeah.
My new OC. Now, you said Superman was chapping your ass, too, this week. How did this one chap your ass?
Oh, gee, nothing fucking happened this issue. Nothing at all. Like, Superman is like this is the issue after the whole United Planets is set up. None of that gets, like, we don't go into any of that. We don't go into Superman having to deal with, like, the political landscape of that, like having to deal with all these planets coming together, and none of that. He goes to like Lois's apartment, gets in a really petty argument with her, because for some reason they decided to bring back that box Lex gave her.
Fuck! I forgot about the box.
Yeah. It doesn't fucking matter.
It's a literal J.J. Abrams mystery box.
Yeah. So yeah, Lois has been like looking at it, contemplating it, and everything, and like Superman comes and he's like, what's this? And so, it's a box from Lex Luthor, and he's understandably upset, you know. I don't know how he's here at this point in time when he's meant to be in the future, and you know, with the Justice League and all that sort of stuff, and and he's like, well, I'm not gonna go and confront Lex because that's what he wants. Like, he wants that. I'm like, well, you couldn't anyway because he's in fucking space and you're already confronting him. So continuity is just fucking everywhere in this issue.
Boy, is it. I love the only book that even tries to make sense of it is Tomasi's Detective Comics. And they're like, this story takes place before Batman 77. It couldn't possibly take place before that.
But yeah, he just like, he's talking about it. And like Lois is going, like, getting real mad about it. Like it's like, she's like, oh, are you afraid there's like something in that box that could kill you or like give me power? I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then they get into an argument and then fix it in the next page.
Really feels like Bendis is trying to make Lois into a villain, doesn't it?
It does. It's really strange. It's really strange. And then like Superman has a moment where he's like, oh, I hate that the future took my son. You know, he's taken from him. Like, you let him go. Last issue,
for the second time, you let him go.
You said like, yeah, it's cool. You can go to the future. I'm like, so you don't get to say that. You don't get to say that, Bendis. And then he's like, and then he's like, I'm gonna tell people I'm Superman. That's it. Like,
really?
Like, there's no like reason why, and he's just like, I'm going to tell people I'm Superman.
Just apropos of, is this his Superman version of a midlife crisis? My wife is, is all up on my ass, and my son moved out of the house. Maybe now is a good time instead of buying a muscle car to let people know I'm Superman.
And then this is near the end of the book. He goes to see Kara because he's got to tell her about it, like, because it's going to affect her and everything.
What a dick move. I just won't be putting my life in danger.
Yeah. But like, he then decides to just like go see Zod.
Oh.
But like, it's really weird. Like, he just like, because I think like, oh, he's gonna go see Zod to maybe get his opinion or something, because they're kind of friends at the moment, you know. But Weirdly. He just like goes there, and then him and Supergirl just have that conversation on New Krypton. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Because he like arrives like, "Hi Zod, can you leave us alone? We need to have a conversation." I'm like, well, just have it at the fucking Fortress of Solitude. You were just there.
Also, Superman's still weirdly okay, what with the whole Zod colonizing an entire alien planet for himself.
Yeah. Oh, that was another thing. He says he's never been there before. I'm like,
You
yeah,
have.
you have. You were there in Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, and before that, these were issues that happened. You know, I read them. I reviewed them.
Bendis, I didn't read that.
Yeah, that's not canon.
I didn't read that. Only what I write is canon. Why do you think I get paid the big bucks?
Yeah, and so yeah, at the end of that issue, he's like, I'm going to tell everyone who I am.
Amazing. That's how we're getting here.
Yeah, and I worked it out because I like went back to see what issue happened in the New 52, and it was like issue 41. And
really?
I counted that, and it's not even 30 issues ago did we get the secret identity reveal again. So they're not even like a whole writer's like volume, basically, like a whole writer's time on a book.
Amazing. What a time to be alive, Matt. What a time.
And then now we're getting like a spin-off out of that where like the villains react to Superman outing his identity. I'm sure most of them will be like, who's Clark Kent?
Yeah, I was going to say, because aren't like the majority of them not even Superman villains?
Oh no, a majority of the villains like react, or a majority of Superman's villains are like aliens, like Brainiac or like Parasite. Like they'll be like, I don't give a fuck. Like it's really only Lex Luthor who will be like, what?
Yeah, and like if I'm the Toy Man, where it's like, oh, I guess I'll go kill Clark Kent. Well, no, he's Superman, and I haven't been able to kill Superman yet, so I guess I'll do nothing.
Yeah, I am excited for that villains book, that villain one shot thing though, because I think it's not just Bendis writing; it's like Greg Rucka, Matt Fraction.
Yeah.
So like those sections of the book written by those guys will probably be pretty good.
Might actually have a chance to be better. They might be like, hey, Brian, we could do that, or we could do this other thing.
We could do something actually interesting and original.
I don't know the difference anymore. We know you don't. We know you don't. Also, hey, can you spare some fucks? Nope.
Nope. I gotta keep all those fucks for the fuckpocalypse.
Gotta keep them in the vault. Matt, I think we have a new shirt. Can you spare some fucks? No. Gotta hoard them all for the fuckpocalypse that's coming. It's like winter is coming, but now the fuckpocalypse is coming.
That's like what Lucky Six is saying in the chat. Lex won't even be like shocked with a Superman death. I feel like we had that amazing one shot of Lex for the Year of the Villain, where like, yeah, he didn't give a fuck that like Superman was Clark Kent, and he kind of learnt that already as well in that one shot. Like, he kind of learnt that, so it's like he won't give a fuck.
Well, that is if Bendis remembers that, which he
won't. He won't, because Lex in this book will just be normal Lex, because this all happens like hours before everything that has happened over the last 2 years.
Crazy. Time in comics is so weird.
Time in DC Comics is a joke at the moment.
It really, really is, because it's like, hey, you editors, are you going to do your job and tell these, let's face it.
It's the fucking Wild West over there in editor land. Like, they're not doing anything.
Yeah. It's like, well, we could try and rein our 3 biggest, most popular, most highly paid writers in at the moment, or we could not. Let's just not.
And this is coming on the heels of, like, a giant, like, timeline being sorted out.
And that's really what it is. It's like, well, we can't offend any of our 3 biggest writers right now because they might go leave and write for someone else. I guess we just let them do whatever they want, and then we'll come out with a timeline later.
Yeah, I'll ask you this, because I was thinking this the other day. Is this like in comics in general? Is this the most like fucked up like timeline wise in comics?
I mean, it's the most fucked up, I think, in modern memory since you and I have started working on this thing. But I mean, I'm not going to say never ever, because, I'm sure there's a more messed up time.
Well, I'd argue that, like, yeah, maybe like before like Crisis of Infinite Earths, it was that. But like before that, there wasn't really any concept of like a timeline or anything. It was just like comics. They happen.
Yeah. True enough.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a thing, but let's wash the taste out of that out of our mouth by talking about something we did enjoy. Yo, how about them new X-Men books?
Yeah. Oh fuck. So, bruh, the islands fuck.
X-Men, bro. The islands totes fuck, bro. Boy, do they ever! And it's like, hey, how do you tell an island to use protection? You can't.
Yeah.
because islands do what they want to do. I do love that, that all new X-Men too, where it's like, okay, so, it's like a family sitcom with the Summers family. They're getting closer, going on adventures. I guess, Hickman's kind of calmed down and cooled it down and everything now moving forward. I guess we're just going to have regular X-Men adventures. No, what about an island that came out of hell and there's an albino summoner in it who can summon actual Lovecraftian horrors?
An albino summoner who is the granddaughter of Apocalypse and the daughter of War. The Horseman.
How about it? Y'all thought I was slacking just doing like sitcom shenanigans with the Summers family. You were wrong.
Yeah, and then we see two landmasses fuck.
Yep. Hickman has made the X-Men so horny again, even the islands get it
like
on.
One of those really weird like anime like visual novels where there's you can date a pigeon. So it's like you can date an island, you can date a landmass. Do you want to date a landmass?
Who does it? Island Simulator 2019. Most hateful island. But yeah, so again, I love the fact that this whole Dawn of X-Men era is honoring every part of the X-Men, from like the weird space stuff with the Badoon and the Shi'ar and the Starjammers to even stuff where it's like, yo, the X-Men like went to hell sometimes and fought demons occasionally.
Yeah, it's great that it's like just going like in all different directions and not shying away from any of this shit.
And it just all feels right and normal and like, yep, that's what would happen.
And it makes sense.
Totally. I like Hickman's characterization of Rachel and Cable this issue. They're basically like the Bart and Lisa to Klopps's Homer.
I got to admit, though, Cable's a fucking idiot in this book.
Boy, is he ever.
He's a big fucking idiot.
He's an idiot here, and he's an idiot, too, over in Fallen Angels, because like X-23 is like, nah, Cable doesn't get to come with us.
Yeah, fuck him.
He smells, he'll ruin it for everyone, and then as you see in All New X-Men, boy, did he.
Yeah. Why did he think giving a grenade to like an unknown being would be a good idea? Like I know like he's grenades. A bit stupid, but come on.
Because I like grenade. Again, totally a Simpsons moment. All right, you albino summoner, I'm going to start moving my arms like this, and if you get hit, it's your own fault. In his defense, though, I guess Rachel was a little slow on the draw, too, to be like, oh, hey, should probably put that new mutant language in its mind so we can talk, huh?
I like the idea that they've actually been talking in that mutant language this whole time, and we haven't noticed.
Yes. I like that idea a lot, actually, that they were doing it for so long they never even considered not
doing it. Does that mean we're mutants because we understand them? And like, there's people out there that like only see like, why is the book covered in these weird fucking glyphs?
In these weird scribbles.
Is that like Hickman's like test to like see like who's a mutant and who's not?
I wouldn't put it past him, and the real truth is the mutant was inside of us all along.
Yeah, the mutant was the friends we made along the way.
We made along the way. But yeah, this book was really cool. Again, going in a lot of weird directions. I like that so many characters can cross over now, and it feels so organic and not confusing to be like, oh, and here's Apocalypse here, and Apocalypse is in Excalibur, and Magneto is in this book and in all the other books.
Yeah, and yeah, there's like you can tell when books take place. There's like a timeline that makes sense as well.
Yes, isn't that nice? They all mentioned that Charles Xavier was shot in the head, but it's not a big deal.
Yes, we'll get to that next week.
He's fine. We're all fine. It's cool. I mean, look, come on. If we all died in a space station attack not too long ago.
That was one thing I was really surprised they didn't like sort of just go with that story. Like, okay, yeah, you all died, you all got ruined, because that issue ended with like Xavier kind of echoing like the no more mutants sort of sentiment thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, just go with that a little bit.
Yeah. No, we got to learn about the albino summoner.
Yeah.
which I'm down for that. Again, too, Hickman is a huge fan of, like, the, pasty one-color character, be it ex-Nilo or the Gardeners and now the Summoner. He really has a type, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. Makes him look human, but still alien.
They've all got that weird, uncanny valleyness about them.
Do you think it's him or the artist, Leniel Yu? Because he did the Avengers stuff with ex Nihilo as well.
That's true. Could be his thing. You never know.
Yeah.
Interesting. We had that. We had Fallen Angels, too. I enjoyed Fallen Angels, not as much as All New X-Men. The worst thing I can say about Fallen Angels is that it feels a lot like a classic X-Men story, and they also depart from the island pretty quick in that.
Oh, okay. I haven't fully read that book yet.
Oh, haven't you? Well, it's all about Psylocke, just like how Excalibur was all about. Was about Betsy Braddock. The idea being that basically Psylocke is going through what I can really only describe as a mutant, the mutant equivalent of a divorce, where it's like, look, she got to keep some of the powers, but I get to keep the code name, though, and I get to keep the old costume. And also, I'm going to go back to using, my Japanese name you didn't know I had, Conan, which is like the old Japanese goddess of war who has death in one hand and a child named Mercy in the other. And, it's all built around her. She gets like a weird vision. Someone being like, oh, fear the coming of Apoth, a new god, and only you can stop them, Psylocke. So she wants to go back to Japan to deal with all of this, but she can't get off the island because Xavier is dead and Magneto has put the island on lockdown.
Oh, okay then. So it happened at the same time as X-Force. So do they reference like all that, like how like someone came in and like did a mass shooting, basically in mass shooting in like their like plaza area?
Yeah, they're all pretty cool with it. They're all like, no, we got to put this on lockdown. But it's going to be fine. It's all going to be cool. Magneto's running the show now. It's all good. And, what is it? She goes to Mr. Sinister because he's the only one who can actually get her off the island because, he has evil ways and evil means.
I would have thought she would have gone to, like, the Marauders or something because it's, like, their whole deal.
Well, she doesn't want people to know, though, because this is personal. This is about family, Matt. Family.
Okay. Yeah, family.
Family, Coronas, cars. It's not far off, actually. And Psylocke's like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't go to mainland Japan to fight this underworld thing on my own. I should probably get some help. Who looks to be bored with Paradise, so she recruits X-23 and Young Cable at first, but Young Cable gets left behind. Because Laura, who is really bitchy in this, apparently Brian Edward Hill said on Twitter that he was really sorry with how he characterized her and he wishes he could go back and change it because this book basically kind of acts like the Tom Taylor series never happened.
Oh, no. I'm guessing Gabby isn't there then.
No, there is no Gabby.
Oh. I like that character. I wanted her and Jonathan to be on fucking Krakoa.
Me too. Wouldn't that have been a really nice thing? No, she's back to her old costume and back to being really aggressive and also being really dismissive about Wolverine, which is like, but you got so close.
that whole like all new Wolverine book was about her like looking up to him as a father. That's like why she took his mantle and everything. Yeah. Oh, god damn it.
But at least Brian Edward Hill says he was wrong about that, and he's going to try and fix that.
No, well, hopefully he does. Hopefully that doesn't mean like it just like makes everything else go by the wayside then.
Yeah, but I mean, how rare is it though that a writer actually comes in and goes, "Oh yeah, I was wrong. I really mischaracterized that character. My bad."
Yeah, well, yeah. Usually they take to Twitter to like have to explain the book and then explain why you're stupid for not understanding it.
Yeah, or, you get, like, that last Titans crossover there where Christopher Priest is like, sorry, man, didn't read that. Oops. At least he just came out and said, oops, didn't read that. My bad. Yeah. Was I supposed to read that? Sorry, it's hard to write and read comics. I'm still Christopher Priest. And I'm like, you sure are. But yeah, she goes to Japan, and it turns out this dude, Apoth, is his name, which is one of those great names because it means like several things at once, has created a new super drug called Overclock, which is very Black Mirror because it hacks the human brain and makes you feel really awesome, but also slows down your perception of time.
Cool.
Which, again, is fun, and I'm like, oh, we're doing another mutant super drug? Seriously, how many of these are there?
Yeah, we still haven't really gotten a full explanation on that mutant drug that Krakoa is meant to be making, and, like, giving out to people who see them as a nation.
No, it, like, cures Alzheimer's and, like, expands human life by, like, 5 years and everything. But, yeah, Overclock, which reminds me way too much of, like, mutant growth hormone and what Magneto was taking in his book and all these other mutant drugs. Yeah, I agree, chat. Overclock does sound very anime.
Yeah.
This whole thing was very anime, actually. And, Psylocke does some fighting and, finds out that Apoth is literally using child soldiers, and Apoth hates them damn mutants, but not because he's racist, but only because he wants to, be evolved humanity himself and become a god, and he can't do that when the mutants are trying to do the same thing. And
those
basically
Psylocke stealing my fucking growth.
Yeah, stealing my job as a god, basically. And Psylocke's like, okay, I'm going to keep fighting Apoth now, but also I'll need to be able to get on and off the island and fight this war on my own as not sanctioned by Magneto or Xavier. And I'm like, I don't know, if you pitched it to them, they might let you do it. She's like, okay, Mr. Sinister, I'm working with you now. You help me get my team, which I'm going to pick, on and off the island, and in exchange, whenever I beat Apoth, I'll give you whatever science he was doing. And Sinister's like, all right, that's cool. That works for me.
Yeah, that works for me. It seems like all the villains so far in Krakoa have got, like, ulterior motives. Like in X-Men 2, we saw Apocalypse obviously doing his shit. So it's like, yeah, this is gonna fucking fail. This is gonna fucking fail.
They all have their own little side hustles going on, and I like that.
Yeah.
Fallen Angels 2 is also the unofficial X-Men team, which I kind of appreciate. That, like, X-Force and Excalibur and all new X-Men and Marauders and all of them are, like, the actually sanctioned by the ruling body of Krakoa, so, like, they're all part of the Krakoan government one way or another, but Fallen Angels is the actual, like, off-the-grid one.
Yeah.
Like, what they're doing is actually, like, the idea is that if Psylocke gets caught doing all of this, she'll get in trouble and probably get thrown where they threw Sabretooth.
Yeah, they'll throw... We still haven't got an explanation of that. I hope we get something about that as well. There's just, like, this thing underneath the island where all the mutants that, like, speak out against Xavier and shit get thrown. The gulag.
Throw him in the hole. Throw him in the hole. Throw him in the volcano.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine, but also feels very much like old X-Men books. It doesn't feel like the new stuff.
Yeah, okay then.
Which, is nothing against it. I mean, I'm sure if you want something more in line with, more classic X-Men, this will probably fill the void. But yeah, that's what that one was. That was Fallen Angels.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, so now that that's out of the way, and now that we've talked our comics, I think it's time to talk about something that I know you and I have been deeply loving, and I know the fans have wanted us to talk about. This is your last chance, though. If you haven't seen it, if you don't got Disney Plus yet, or haven't been able to see it any other way, we're going to be spoiling the first 2 episodes of Mandalorians. Which boy, did I love how they did this one, where you got the premiere on Tuesday, and then you got the next episode on Friday.
Yeah, well, Friday is like the day. They all come out from now on, except for the week of Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, which is super, super cool.
Yeah.
But where do we want to start with this, Matt? I'll let you start because you're the local Star Wars czar.
Well, I've talked about it so much in the last week because I did an audio commentary on both those episodes as well as a review. Fucking Mandalorian, it's fucking cool. It's fucking awesome.
It met every expectation I had, and also some new ones that I didn't think I had.
Yeah.
It's rare that a series comes out and is literally everything I wanted it to be.
It is. It really is. It's everything, and as well as stuff I didn't know I wanted until I saw it.
Totally. Like when they were touring this show around, they're like, "Oh, it's a space western. It's a real deal space western." And I'm like, "Okay, everyone says that that their thing is a western in blank genre, and usually that just means like, oh, we ripped off some shots from Sergio Leone, or we had like a particular sort of gunfight." But no, this is a goddamn western, right down to the music that has classic Star Wars themes remixed with twangy cowboy guitars.
Yeah, like that's like a big like pro for me in this show. Like Ludwig Göransson's music is completely different to like John Williamson or Michael Giacchino's music. It's so damn good, and it fits it. It fits it perfectly, and as well as like it makes it more of a western as well.
Totally. As I thought 2 episodes in, The Mandalorian is called The Mandalorian because the guy we follow around has no name. He is the man with no name. He is Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and it's following all those kind of western tropes. He's the big bad guy, quote unquote. Bounty hunter who's never compromises or anything. When we see him, he's pretty badass. I enjoy as well that he's still fallible. He can still fuck up like he did big time in that second episode. He can still fuck up. He's not Boba Fett. He's not perfect at everything.
No, he's also not invincible.
No, he gets fucked up quite a fair bit in these two episodes.
By things you would not expect, like those giant frog lizards that bite him in the arm. And I like he has the flamethrower like a lot of the other Mandalorians, but I like so far the flamethrower hasn't really done shit. It's just kind of shocked people.
Yeah, he like uses it every now and then, but yeah, it doesn't really work all that well. He uses his grapple hook as well quite a fair bit, and I like that.
He does not, however, have a jetpack, and as we discover, the new status quo for Mandalorians is that they are an empire living in exile. We have no idea what happened to the House of Ren, what happened to Death Watch. They're basically living on the run now, getting their special medal. What's that called again?
Beskar Steel.
Beskar Steel, which again, if you do really good as a bounty hunter and you level up, the old master will give you an upgraded pauldron.
yeah, she gets. That's gonna be like I think the thing. Like every couple episodes, he'll get some more Beskar Steel, and eventually he'll have like a whole set. I think we've even seen it, a whole set of that like really cool armor.
And I mean, I think when you become a black belt Mandalorian, you get a jetpack at some point, too.
I actually like that he doesn't have a jetpack because he's got to work to do things. And it makes him that much more competent, I think.
It really does. We also learn like a little bit about his backstory. Every episode, we discover that he is a foundling, which that opens up a lot of doors where it's like, oh, were the Mandalorians as a people decimated so much by the war with the Empire that they eventually had to start literally adopting kids like the Jedi and turning them into new Mandalorians?
That's the thing, like, he's technically not a Mandalorian, but he is because he was adopted by them at a young age. Kind of mirroring that Jedi thing. Where he's adopted them at a young age and trained in their arts and their religions. So he is a Mandalorian, basically.
Which he even says in that second episode, no, I'm not going to put my gun down. Weapons are part of my religion.
Yeah. I like that part as well when we find him as a kid. That because when that second trailer came out, that we saw shots of that, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be the Mandalorian, and he's going to be like in the Clone Wars and stuff as a kid. And I was completely right about that. Because he was, and there's like rumors as well, like we're gonna see more of that as the episodes go on until we actually get a full flashback, and it's gonna be like we're gonna see the Jedi like save him or something, or like be in there with him as well. So that's pretty cool.
As JT Wizzy is saying, that thing that the war that he got found in, that was the Clone Wars, not the Empire. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yes, it was that, and yeah, because the show is set 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Right, he's an adult now. That timeline would work out. So I guess he's really pissed off at the Separatists. I'm assuming it was the Separatists that shot up his town.
That's why he hates droids. In that first episode, he wouldn't get on that speeder because it's piloted by a droid. And then he didn't particularly want to work with IG-11 because it's fucking droid.
That makes a lot. How did I not pick up on that? That makes excellent sense, man. Can we talk too about the cameos here? Frickin' Brian Posehn getting to be in Star Wars. I was so happy for him because Brian Posehn is like an uber arch nerd. He is basically one of us.
Yeah, he looks like one of us as well.
He, like, seriously, like, you could sub him out on any episode of the Comic Multiverse or any podcast we're on. It's like, yeah, he belongs there. Yep, that's about right.
Yeah, it was so cool. And it was cool because I follow him on Twitter. It was cool seeing his reaction to it. He's like, I'm in Star Wars. Yay, I can talk about it now.
His joy is so pure and so wholesome and beautiful. And it's like when Brian Posehn wins, we all win collectively. I love that he got to be... Frickin' Nick Nolte finally gets to be in Star Wars. Well, his voice gets to be in there, but still.
No, that's actually him. Like, that's what he looks like now.
Drugs, man, don't do them.
He looks like an Ugnaught. No special effects was used.
And man, you know, like, he's doing the voice of a puppet, but god damn it, he's not phoning in his performance at all.
No, yeah. It's cool that he finally gets to be in Star Wars. I think he originally like auditioned for like Han Solo or something back.
He did
back in like, for A New Hope and everything. So it's pretty cool that he got to see that through and become part of like the Star Wars lore.
I really enjoy that. And there's a moment too where it's like, oh, is he going to join the Mandalorian's crew? Nah, he's got to live here. And he uses a phrase, "You have returned peace to my valley." And I'm like, oh, now you're just straight up doing Shane Western quotes, peace in the valley.
yeah, all of that stuff. Like, yeah, that second episode was very like Western, but also very anime inspired with Lone Wolf and Cub stuff like that.
Oh yeah. So much Lone Wolf and Cub because, hey everyone, the Mandalorian doesn't do it alone. The Mandalorian has a little tag-along, a little babby Yoda species, and no, literally you have to say Yoda species because Yoda species does not have a name canonically.
Doesn't have any information about it. The only two we've ever seen is Yoda and Yaddle. And this is apparently the series, or at least one of the arcs of the series, is going to be exploring that species, and we're going to get a name for them eventually, as well as maybe see their homeworld, possibly.
Ooh. Because, the only thing we knew about Yoda species before this is that they were rare, they were guarded, and that they were, genetically predisposed to being good Force users, and as we can see,
Yeah, and not only that, they age, really slowly, So the whole thing is that the Mandalorian gets sent by Werner Herzog to apprehend a bounty, an off the books bounty who's 50 years old, and he's on this planet. You got to go find him, and the Mandalorian finds this baby, and the baby is 50 years old, and it's a baby because it's a Yoda species. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is funny. Party Pug says Yoda was hiding from child support.
yeah, he hid the child away for child support.
Pay child support, I will not.
That's why he went to Dagobah. He wasn't escaping the Jedi Purge. He could have dealt with that. But he's like, fuck this, I'm paying child support. You know how much the Jedi Order pays me?
Nothing. Hiding from my ex-wife I am. Well, now that just makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that's super cool. Man, Werner Herzog just kills it. He's only in it for a little bit, and it's the scene we saw that got leaked online. But holy shit, is he good in this.
He's Werner Herzog, but he wears, Star Wars clothes. Although they're probably, his real clothes.
Yeah, really. He was so born for all of this, and when he's sitting there saying, bounty hunting is a dangerous profession, don't feel too bad if you can't bring it in alive, because obviously he was fine, but the doctor wanted the baby alive, and we don't know why yet.
Well, I think because we got some stills of that doctor, and you can see the patch on his arm, and the patch on his arm is the same patch that the Camino and cloners use.
Oh,
so either
shit.
They're trying to clone the baby to get Force users, or they're trying to clone the midichlorians or something.
Can we isolate the Force gene so this way the Empire will rise again?
Yeah, we can vaccinate the children with the Force.
Or that too, can we do it the other way? It's we don't want any Force users being born anymore.
Yeah.
Because they tip the scales of power too much, and also our leadership was made up of Force users, and look how that turned out.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, just going back to Werner Herzog, like, have you seen like some of the interviews he's been giving for like this? He's fucking
They're
having
amazing.
so much fun. As well, it's like I'm like, wow, I never like pegged like I like when I heard him cast, I think, oh, he's gonna do like no interviews, and like the one he does, he'll be like, I just did it just cause, you know, fucking
It's
money.
a paycheck,
yeah, to fund my next documentary on some, you know,
Depressing
Filipino
something.
witch doctor or something. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever Werner Herzog does all day.
Yeah. But yeah, he's like he's talking about how much he fucking loves it and everything. But he did a really good interview with, I think it was like Variety or something, where he was, they're like asking, he's like, oh, did you see any of like Jon Favreau's movies? And he's like, no. And it's like, oh, he made The Lion King. He's like, I did not know that. And he's like, do you watch any TV? It's like, oh, I've been watching like Keeping Up with the Kardashians and WrestleMania. Like, what the fuck?
You know, one cannot remove themselves from culture. Sometimes you must see the human condition. Yes, I watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians and WrestleMania. Which, here's the thing. Every year you got to pay like $50 to $60 if you want to stream WrestleMania. I will happily pay $100 if I can watch WrestleMania with Werner Herzog. Please tell me, Werner, who is in your boy stable? Who do you think Vince isn't pushing good enough? I love Russo very much, but his storylines leave much to be desired. I wish that they would push him in a proper belt program.
That'd be really awesome. Now that he said that, someone should try and get him on like a wrestling podcast.
Oh, please, dude. Come on, AEW, Tony Khan. You guys are just burning money at this point. Please, for the love of God, get Werner Herzog to guest call a match. Yes, you know, these young bucks, they are youthful, but it is fleeting. And when I watch their matches, I know that one day we will all die. I like it when Matt super kicks the other guy. I agree.
That'd be amazing.
God damn. Also, even just like the other stuff, too, where it's like, you know, what is it? Martin Scorsese is kind of like acting a fool right now, being like, Marvel movies aren't real cinema. And here's Werner Herzog being like, the Mandalorian is the true spirit of cinema. Come again. And I'm like, I think we all know which weekend dad we want to hang out with more. Thanks for just like being super cool, Werner.
Yeah, he's great in the show. We get Carl Weathers for like a little bit as Grief Karga.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool. He's like the boss of the Bounty Guild and everything. So you don't get to see a lot of him. I imagine we will soon though, as he comes back.
Just the fact that he exists in the universe makes me happy.
We got IG-11 played by Taika Waititi, and I am so happy he didn't just do like a Korg voice.
No, he was actually trying to sound tough in this one.
Yeah, and because I was really worried, I was like, oh, his voice is just going to sound a bit like Korg's, but they're going to like robotize it a little bit, and it didn't sound like that at all. It sounded pretty menacing, and he's pretty fucking OP.
He is, and you could actually tell it was him, too. And it's like, wow, for a whole bunch of people seeing these movies for the first time, they've never seen an IG assassin droid before.
No, we've seen like some in like the backgrounds of shots and standing there, but yeah, not in action.
Can we also talk about the literal dozens of Star Wars The Holiday special references that this thing's made? Right down to the Mandalorian's choice of weapon, which is the first thing we see Boba Fett carrying when he shows up.
Yeah, Life Day, that weapon. We get like Wookiee references. Oh, so much good shit.
They even mentioned the mythosaur, which I did not know that skull that you always see, that's like the Mandalorian symbol, that's a mythosaur skull. I didn't know that. Yeah,
that's why they have it on their armor.
That blew my mind. Your people once rode the mighty mythosaur.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I love in that second episode where like the Mandalorian just has this utter disdain for Jawas, and he's just blowing them away as they're stealing the rims off his car.
I love it when the Jawas die. They sound hilarious when they die. They like blow up like confetti when they die. I'm like, man, this would be the most fun thing in the world. Forget bullseye and womp rats in my T-60. I'm gonna bullseye me some Jawas.
Yeah, goddamn space gypsies.
Very much. I like they make it gross again too. It's like, what do they want? Do they want money? Do they want power? No, the egg. Give us the egg. Nom 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 nom.
See, I thought I thought like they're like just sending him on like yeah, that he'll get the egg and everything, he'll be beat to fuck, but like, and the egg won't mean anything to him. They'll get it and just like smash it on the ground, and it'll be like ha, you know, got fucked up. Because they're Jawas, they're fucking assholes.
Jawas have no hearts.
No. But yeah,
but
that
they
whole,
love eggs.
That whole scene with him like going after the sandcrawler and like climbing up it, they're just like throwing shit down at him, and he's like,
oh yeah,
like,
that's amazing.
He's like picking him up and throwing him off the fucking sandcrawler and everything.
It's great.
It's so great. And then the scene after that where
really
he fights
is.
the creature is so cool. In the what I've dubbed in my live stream, the anus cave.
Because
it looked like an anus. It looked like, guys, it was an anus.
Boy, was it. But yes, screw Jawas, I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
As JT Wizzy says, you know, he thought it was like something of religious significance. Nah, they just love getting turnt on egg.
Yeah, they just wanted that fucking egg yolk protein.
It's
like
so good.
It's them.
You know what it is? And it had basically the same consistency of one of those like Cadbury eggs that's like so sugary.
I thought it was
and
it was like fondue cheese.
I don't know, man. I kind of want me one of them eggs right about now. As someone else brought up in the chat too, that whole second episode had a very strong like Samurai Jack vibe, because like they go for long periods of time without speaking, and the action tells the story.
Yeah, lots of like who directed it? Rick Famuyiwa directed that second episode, and there's like lots of shots of like them like walking in the distance with the sun behind them, like very Western stuff, and it was so cool. Traveling, and there's that shot where they rebuild the Razor Crest and everything.
Yeah, it's so cool too to know that Dave Filoni is involved in this, especially because he wrote a lot of the stuff with Sabine and Death Watch and the whole like fall of Mandalore and everything. I'm like, we're gonna get some of that connective tissue, right? We're gonna get those characters referenced. We're gonna get to know what happens, right? Because as people were quick to mention, Mandalorians before had no problem taking off their helmets. They did it all the time. What changed in the last little bit to make them, you know, do that?
Yeah, and as people said, he directed that first episode as well. His first time directing live action as well.
Pretty good. I imagine this won't be the last time.
No. Yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out like about like all the Mandalorian stuff, like as well as like that in that first episode where he goes to like the blacksmith. And he's like doing like a ritual where he like kneels down and gives her the Beskar, and she makes like the plate for him and everything, and like it's all ritualistic and stuff like that. That was never in like the Mandalorian culture beforehand. Like we never saw any of that sort of stuff. So what made them turn into that sort of tribe sort of mentality?
Yeah, I can only assume it's because their planet was decimated by something, assumedly the Empire, but I don't know.
Well, first the Clone Wars, then the Empire, like one after the other. So yeah, it probably fucked them up good. And then as well, like infighting with like Pre Vizsla and Maul and all of that.
Right, because I was gonna say when we last see them canonically at the end of at the end of Rebels and everything there, they were doing pretty good. They were like almost at the height again because Sabine helped save them and their culture and everything.
Yeah. So I imagine like, either like, because around that time is when like Maul was still alive, like Crimson Dawn was still active. Maul had just died, I believe, or just about to die. So like, then maybe they like fucked him up even more, and again like the Empire as well, and because the Empire. Because that he gets that Beskar steel and it's got like the Empire seal on it, so they probably came for the steel, because the steel is like really strong and everything. So they probably we'll take it and we'll make fucking super weapons out of it.
Which, hey, too, keeping up with the whole Star Wars is basically World War II in space. Literally, the Beskar steel stamped is basically just Star Wars Nazi gold.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's literally what it is. He's got to get the Nazi gold to reclaim it for his culture.
Yeah, and again, that's like more like Western stuff where they got to get the Spanish gold. The big, it's hidden up in them hills.
That too. Always about the Spanish. You're right. It's lots of things. It fuses lots of genres. But yeah, so I mean, really, what else can you say about Mandalorian? I feel like we can talk about it forever. It's fucking dope.
It is. It's so damn cool. I'm looking forward to, I'm not sure, I don't know what episode it will be in. I imagine maybe the next one, but like the space battles, like, because we've seen some of them teased, and the space shots we've seen so far have been so fucking amazing. Like the special effects in general in this show are fucking amazing.
It is. It's hard to believe that this is a TV show, but then it's like, well, they also made this for like a Game of Thrones budget, so yeah, naturally.
Well, I think even more than a Game of Thrones budget, like $25 million an episode or something.
Oh, wow. It shows.
Oh, yeah, it does. They spent their money in the right places.
I mean, I guess, too, another thing we can talk about, it's like this is another perfect example of how to do a prequel right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because it informs...
Would you call it a prequel?
I mean, it's a prequel to the timeline, but definitely not a prequel to the Star Wars story. Mm-hmm. It's a prequel in so much as it comes before the events we saw in the movie, but still. I wonder. But yeah, and like there's cool stuff coming down the pipeline we haven't even seen yet. What role does Bill Burr bounty hunter play?
Yeah, we got Bill Burr as a bounty hunter. We got like cool action scenes again with like IG-11 and the Mandalorian. We still got Cara, what's her name? Gina Carano's character to be introduced. All that sort of stuff.
She's got a Gatling gun.
Yeah.
I am so up for all of this.
Yeah, and it's really short as well. It's only like 7 or 8 episodes.
Yeah, that surprised me. But then, and like they're all of varying lengths, right? They're like 30 to 40 minutes.
I think the first 2 so far have been about 30 minutes. And I've seen people complain about that, but I'm more than fine with that, like, episodes, like, because I'm used to those sorts of things being, like, super long. So to have them be small and concise and focused is great.
Yeah, not everything needs to be an hour. As Party Pug says, Blu-ray steel box. It's fucking dope, the comic multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. That's got to be on there, on the pull quote. On the DVD release,
yeah. Please, Disney Plus, please use that on your thing. It's fucking dope.
Yeah, on your app, it's fucking dope.
Like I could say, like, oh, it's cinema brought to television. It's a bold step forward in streaming entertainment. But Star Wars has never been so cool and so great. No, it's fucking dope. There's just no two ways about it. It's fucking dope, bro.
Yeah, Baby Yoda's dope, bro.
Baby Yoda. Which, okay, can we talk about Baby Yoda for a second? Our Nostradamus powers to see things from the future happened even in the past, because back when you and I worked at Name Redacted, there was an old podcast we were on that people instantly remembered that had the title, I shit you not,
I don't know how Yoda. They remembered it, because I don't remember it.
I remembered it because it was so silly, and then it happened, and I'm like, fuck off. And I mean, I think our reasoning there as to why we got to Baby Yoda was just like, what does everyone think about, the Disney Star Wars acquisition? Like, what, they think they're going to do like Muppet Babies with Star Wars? That's not going to happen. That'd be ridiculous. But also still, Yoda Baby would be pretty funny though on its face.
And it is pretty
and then we got funny.
It. Because it like walks funny, around and like eats frogs.
It's pretty funny too, man, I tell you what. I never more have I felt that like Brooklyn 19 meme there, where it's like, look, I've only had Baby Yoda for a short amount of time, but if anything bad happened to him, I'd kill everybody. Never more have I felt that meme like deep in my soul than I have when Baby Yoda showed up. I would kill everybody, and he might too, the Mando, if something bad happens.
No, he'll only kill Jawas because he's a racist.
Yeah. But also they literally Jawas. I mean, they also literally put his ship up on blocks, and that would piss me off, too. And then didn't help repair it, either.
No.
That's the other thing. Like, yeah, we'll trade you back your shit. No, we're not helping you put it back together. You and Nick Nolte got to do that. But yeah, The Mandalorian is great. I cannot wait for more. Friday is becoming my favorite day of the week now, just because of this.
Yeah. I'm going to continue doing my live audio commentaries and reviews on it. So keep an eye out for that on this channel.
That's good. I think, too, it also sets like a really strong precedent. Like, man, if these new Star Wars shows are this strong out of the gate.
Yeah, as well. Like this is like what they chose to begin with. So like, what are we like? Are we going to like see like the Marvel shows? Are they going to be as strong?
I certainly hope so. And I mean that Obi-Wan Kenobi show they keep threatening us with.
Dude, that's going to be awesome. And
it might actually be awesome.
He also might be in this show as well. Like he might be the one who finds the Mandalorian as a kid.
Oh,
So
that
like,
would be a fun twist.
and it would make sense as well. It'd be like that build up to his show. It's like, oh, is Obi-Wan Kenobi? It'd be cool if he had a show coming up.
As a veteran of the Clone Wars, and also that would be a twist that would make everyone lose their mind, like, oh, hey, General Kenobi, look at this kid.
No, and also that as well, like, he's obviously got ties to Mandalore with Satine.
Yes, he does.
And all those sorts of, all those people, so kind of makes sense.
Yeah, wasn't Obi-Wan, like, crushing on a Mandalorian woman at a point?
Yeah, Duchess Satine.
Oh, yeah, I wonder if
they did like a whole
ugh.
arc about like talking about like, oh, there was a time when these two were like a thing, and like it's possible Obi-Wan might have left the Jedi Order for her.
Interesting. Hey, little child there, I once knew a Mandalorian woman who I love. Would you like to go live with them? You'll get a cool helmet. Don't you want a cool helmet? I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not going to replace my dead parents, but yeah, I like a cool helmet. It'll cover up my tears. I love he hasn't taken the helmet off yet. I hope they full Judge Dredd this and he never takes off the helmet.
Yeah, I have a feeling they won't. I don't think he'll take off the helmet. It'll be or we'll get it. Like I thought in that second episode we were going to get it. Like it was going to get knocked off, but we wouldn't see his face.
Same.
It'd be all shot from like the neck down while he fights the thing, and then he puts it back on.
Or his face gets covered in mud. Like it'll get knocked off, and it's like, no one must look at my face. Why? Because you're ugly and scarred? Nah, because I'm way too handsome.
Yeah, I look like Pedro Pascal. I can't be seen.
I look like... Yeah, they literally told me your beautiful face will start wars. You have to hide it at all times. That's the thing. He's literally that guy from Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Yeah, that's the Mandalorian. Yeah, we purposely taught him everything wrong. The whole kneel and get your armor thing. We don't do that. The whole you can never take off your helmet. That's bullshit. We all put our helmets on when we know he's coming just to fuck with him. It's all a big con just to screw the... Ooh, weapons are part of my religion. I can't put them down. We always are putting our weapons down. He's stupid. That's the big twist of this. They've actually been lying to him his entire adult life. That Mandalorians are not like this at all. Oh, that'd be way too funny. We purposely taught him wrong. We didn't even give him a name. We just called him the Mandalorian.
Oh, God.
Dude, we're all Mandalorians. What's wrong with Jeff?
Minnesota asks, what was that cave monster? I have no idea. I thought it was going to be like that creature that Anakin fought in episode 2, the Battle of Geonosis, but it wasn't. It was like a hairy version of that.
Right, or what's that other, or a Gundark, but it was definitely not a Gundark.
Oh, it's definitely not a Gundark, no. We've seen Gundarks and they look nothing like that.
We've seen nests of Gundarks. Obi-Wan saved him that one time in them Gundarks. Never forget the Gundarks.
Yeah, and Luke was strong enough to pull the ears off a Gundark.
Sure was. Never forget. Never forget. Hashtag never forget Gundarks. And now we're just rambling. But thank you, everyone, for showing up to this episode. This was a lot of fun. I knew Matt and I were going to have a blast talking about The Mandalorian because it's just so friggin' cool.
It is. I'm sure we're going to keep talking about it as well.
Oh, I know we will. Matt, how much do you think this is going to affect cosplay at cons? I imagine we are going to see so many new Mandalorians.
This is going to be the new Joker. The new Joker, like, once that Joker movie goes away, or it already is gone away, but, like, yeah, we're going to see, like, Mandalorians of varying quality.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. You usually do at every con anyway.
Yeah, but now
usually
more.
There's, like... There's usually always a 501st at every con, but yeah, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Because there's a level of customization in your own Mandalorian costume where it's like, nah, see, that's not bad. He just took artistic license with it. He's wearing hockey pads like Boba Fett would have done. That guy's wearing sweatpants. That's when the Mandalorian, you know, has had a bad night and he's got to put his sweatpants on because he's caring about comfort. You know, can't be armor all the time. Got to care about the comfort. So, yeah, I guess with that, everyone, we can start winding the show down. As always, thanks, Matt, for joining me on this. We wouldn't have the show with you, literally, because you're running the back end of it now for the live thing. Everyone thank Matt for letting this be live.
People can tell I'm running the back end of it because of all the fuck-ups.
We're keeping that in, apparently, too, so that'll be fun. But yes, thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you for everyone who dropped your bits in the cup there. Tevia, Party Pug, anyone else who I may have missed. I'm glad those of you out there who don't normally get to join us live got to join us live. As always, we'll be doing this every week now for the foreseeable future, Sunday at 10 Eastern Standard Time. For everyone else, the show goes live 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Wednesday. Unless you're a Patreon, which you can become for as little as $1 a month, we try and get the video and audio versions up for you right away, lickety split over there. So, we would really appreciate it if you did, especially as I said at the top of the show, YouTube right now, there's some fuckery.
Yeah, fuckery. You're not kids, I hope, so...
Yeah, I sure not. But if you are a kid, please tell us in the comments section if you're 12 and under, because if so, you're a cool ass kid for listening to this show. You're sticking it to the man every time you watch this.
Rules.
Yeah, we're the show they literally didn't want you to see. Actually, one of our fans, Marvel Knight, who I actually thought he was way older because he had like 80 something at the end of his name. No, he's only 19. He actually has been listening to us since he was 12.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, since we worked at Name Redacted, I'm like, see, we might lose out on cool fans like you and like all of you in the chat if YouTube has its way.
Yeah.
Look, what I'm saying is just expose our show to children all over the world is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Don't expose yourself, expose our show.
Look, you can use the same thing. You can have a creepy trench coat and hat, but when you open it up, you just have a pad playing our episodes.
A tablet playing our show.
Yep, that's all you got to do, everyone. That's how we'll save content on the internet with a roving army of creepy guys in trench coats. It's the hot new sensation sweeping the nation. Get on it. And with that, everyone, I think we really have to be done. Just talking crazy, just talking bullshit now, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.